Alrighty everyone, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Doing the Thing. Before we get started here, last time I did the thing the first way through from alt mode to robot. I showed where all the nubbins were and all of that. And then when I went back I showed the movements of the pieces but didn't point out all the nubbins unless I thought it was relevant to point out one. And I filmed that and this at the same time, so I told you to comment on that video if you want me to point every little bit out both ways, and that's not going to happen this time because I haven't seen your feedback. So unless enough people tell me to point out the nubbins at all times, we'll go ahead and continue with this method. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and do the thing. We are going to pop his gun off. You've got 2 tabs on his gun that go into 2 slots on the top of his feet. Then we'll go ahead and pop this back panel out. This hooks over these 2 tabs here, and then you've got 2 bumps, one on each side, that go into ports in there. If it'll focus, there we go, focus, yay, it focused. So we'll pull that away, fold these up, and then we will separate them. You have a post and a port, and you have a post. You have a post. Let's go ahead and show both because we were out of frame and I don't know if I caught it. Post and port, and then you've got a post and you've got a port, and that's what holds that together, as well as a slot and a tab. So we'll fold these off to the side like so. I'm going to go ahead and rotate his legs up for the time being to get them out of the way, and we'll fold these off to the side. And so his back half is exploded. We'll go ahead and disengage the legs, and there's a couple of things happening, and it's going to take a couple of steps to explain it, but for now you have a slot right here in this red piece of plastic that this tab on the back of this foot section is going into, and then this is all going to come loose, and you have these 2 tabs here that were sitting up in one of these grooves. So if we collapse that back down, I believe it's this back groove right there, the back one that I'm picking at with my fingernail. So when you get that all in, get out of the way, foot. I can't get my light in there. There we go. The slot is shining in the light, and that goes right in there. That's how you want that sitting, deep down in there. Alright, let's go ahead and get this back to the way we had it, all sprawled out to the side. In the review, I commented that this guy doesn't have the things on the top of the feet that Grimlock does to make the ankle look whole. Right now, there's nothing obstructing that space, but given the fact that people think these were originally going to fold up, I can see why they didn't design it and then never put it back in. Question answered. So we'll go ahead and fold the feet out. There's nothing really tabbing them into place. They just sit, and then they sit flush. And so we're going to fold those out, and the little nubbins that were plugged into the red up here are going to go into new notches in the other section of the foot to make the foot whole. And then we're going to leave these off to the side for now because we're going to have to rotate those panels back around. The legs do the same thing the Grimlock legs do, where they have the sliding bar in there. So same as before, we'll go ahead and unplug the legs. You do have 2 posts with accompanying ports on the other side, here and here. So we'll go ahead and we will straighten the legs out, and then you've got this tab here that goes into a clip in there, and they kind of auto slide themselves, but if you want to, you can slide them yourself and get them all clipped into place. We've already discussed his weak knee ratchets, so we won't get to that again. And then to complete his legs, we'll go ahead and fold these panels in again, and then this post will go back into the port it started in on both sides, and then the tail will line up with this tail shaped molding, and you've got this little tab here that's going to go into this little notch here loosely. It doesn't really hold in too well sometimes, and sometimes it holds in pretty good. I found that my mileage, oh, this one did it for me, good job. But you put it in, sometimes it stays, sometimes it doesn't. Then we'll get the feet back in place, and there you've got the dyno totem pole mode achieved. But moving right along, his back thing, nicely split open for us, but we've got these slots here, and here, in here, and you've got tab, 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 untab that, and spread it all out. And then I found that if you want it out of your way, you can fold it into the cavity right here, down for a little bit for now, so that way we can pull the hip section away, give it a good old 360 spin on your mushroom peg there, and then leave it be for now. Go ahead and straighten your hips out so your legs are straight, and then we'll focus on this area here. Go ahead and flatten those back out. Point his little dino toesies out. If you want to do it like I do it, you can do these feet whichever way you want, but I point the toesies out, fold the leg up, and then untab it. You have a tab and a little slot there, and then you fold them down, and they will sit behind this notch here to kind of hold them in place down here. So again, on this side, throw those into place, and then unplug the dyno head. You have a tab, goes into a slot. Let's get that more in frame. Tab, slot, rotate that around, and it doesn't hold the best, but it'll hold in place. I rotate his dyno head around and fold the chin all the way up, and then I just click his neck until it's sitting relatively flat with the rest of the backpack. The little tabs that hold this in place in dyno mode go into little ports in this soft rubbery wing material that holds that in place. So tab that in on both sides here, and then go ahead and rotate the robot head up on its slab, and then you can fold the chest into place and it will tab in. Let's see what makes that tab happen. I think it's just friction. You've got these little tab looking features here that go into the ribs, the structures, and I think that's all I really see holding that into place. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we can give his waist a good old 360. Maybe should have done that before I put the dyno legs down, but hey, we got it done. And there you have most of him done. Go ahead and rotate the dyno legs 90 degrees. We are going to rotate the thigh swivel of the dyno, and it reveals itself to be the bicep swivel of the robot. Yay! This double hinge here, I mentioned in the video that it locks into place, and you'll hear that snap, hopefully. Oh, yeah, you should definitely hear that. But yeah, when you're going into dyno mode, we'll show you, you can snap that up in for a secure thing. With his hands, you're going to pull them out. You got these little ridges here that you got to get your nail onto. If you get the hands too deep in there, it becomes really hard. So you really want to just gently nudge them in so that the foot is flat, because you don't want those going in too hard. Unlike Slags, this does not clip. When it's out, it's just out. You rotate the hand, arm all done. Second side, we'll do it again. Rotate up, rotate around. This snaps a little lighter sometimes. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and flick the fist out, rotate it around, and there he is as a robot. Nope, his chest came undone. There he is as a robot. I was trying to rotate his shoulder back a couple of clicks, and his chest came undone, because of course it did. And there you've got him in his robot mode with all his robot stuff. Kind of get him straightened out. These knees, I keep him in dyno mode because I like the dyno mode, but I keep him in dyno mode partially because of those knees. We'll go ahead and take his gun and put it in his hand, and we'll throw him over in the corner so we can get our thumbnail images, just like the Slug review. So we'll put him off in the corner to get a nice thumbnail image. Hooray! And now we can go ahead and put them on our turntable here. This is a completely seamless turntable. We're getting a 360 view of him on. Look at this turntable. I spent so much money on it, and it spins it so nicely in a nice fluid motion. Look at that. Lovely. There he goes on the turntable. And we'll go back into dyno mode now. So we'll reverse the thing, take the gun out. We are going to do the arms again. So we'll go ahead and rotate the fists, push them in just enough so that that's flush. We will fold this in, and if you feel so inclined, snap that back, rotate, just gently nudge that in, snap this back. Oh, this one is so stiff. There we go. And there you have those. Rotate these forward so they are in dyno mode orientation. Don't forget to rotate this arm at the bicep like I did. There you have the arms. Go ahead and fold the chest down. Okay, earlier it folded down when I was moving the shoulders, but now that I wanted to come down, the hips are there. Unplug that and fold that down. Go ahead and fold his robot head in. Nothing wants to cooperate. It's late at night and I am ready to relax, so we'll get this done. We're going to unplug the wings and fold them forward. We'll go ahead and rotate the neck up, and I did not detail this, so I will now. In order for this to plug in, you've got these big old slots and the big old tabs, so it folds up and lines up and tabs in very securely. Didn't mention that on the way forward, so we'll get it on the way back. Go ahead and rotate the dyno head. You can line up the seams so you know it's in the middle. Do what you want with that. Rotate the neck to your preferred rotational rotation edge, and then we'll go ahead and fold his feet up. There are those little tabs that kind of help soft lock them in place, so go ahead and fold them up. This time we'll rotate the waist now instead of when we did it before. We'll fold his dyno legs down and fold his dyno toesies forward to complete those legs. And then go ahead and fold these back like so into that gap, which will let us rotate this whole piece up and kicking him in his own head. Rotate that whole piece around, and we'll rotate it down loosely. We can give the thighs or hips a couple of clicks, get that down into place, and then we can close up his back, which again, you just take those tabs in those slots, get him nice and lined up, make sure his neck is nice and secured, get that whole body secured. It might come undone on us, we'll see. And then we just got to do his leggums, his lovely dyno leggums, or robot leggums, his dyno buttums, that's what it is. So we'll go ahead and untab that little tab and rotate the tail bits down. They're holding in pretty good today. They would just pop out when I got them. So and then we'll go ahead and I'll fold the feet down. It makes getting these panels out a little easier. So like I said, they just fold until they're nice and sandwiched in half. Kind of flex this out a little bit to get that undone, then rotate it down on that hinge out of your way, so you've got this gap here. Same thing on the other side. And then here's what I was saying earlier, you've got this rail here, so we'll unclip the knee, and then you can let the rail do its job, or halfway like I do, you can manually slide that down into the middle. Do the same thing with the other leg, manually slide that up into the middle, and then you can go ahead and peg those legs together. If you don't accidentally slide them back in the wrong direction trying to get them together, the tabs are, or the posts I should say, are fighting me, and the hips are not in the same ratchet there. Alright, we got that done. Hooray, they're together. And then, like I said before, you've got these two tabs here that go into this back set of notches, and then you've got these two tabs that go into those. I tried to show it earlier, I really did, and I don't know if I got it, so we'll try and really get in on that action if the knees would cooperate. Alright, now you can see them. They're lining up in there. You've got that gray going over that darker gray in there. That's what you want. Hopefully that's coming across. I have no clue. And then once that's all lined up, we can take our armatures with our tailatures. Go ahead and snap our tailatures together. Rotate these up and snap them together. And then fold up your golden pieces. The posts are going to go back where they belong. And then the top of this will go over these tabs. Just kind of give them a good mush, like I didn't in my review. He was coming apart at the seams. Give him a good mush, fold his legs down, and then we'll get him so he's not looking at the ground. We can take his gun, and we've got our ports, or our slots, and our tabs, and our securing male and female opening mechanisms. And there we go. There we have another Dinobot review done. The last Dinobot from 86 I have, and I just did it in time to complete Dinobot December. It wasn't a disaster. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope that you go ahead and like it if you would be so inclined. If you haven't subscribed and you liked this stuff, go ahead and do that if you want to. If you know someone who might like the content, go ahead and share the channel with them. And I will see you guys in the next video, which may or may not be a very big boy. See you next year. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, all of that stuff. Bye.